All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers in today's video. So they're currently going through OTAs, right? Main question, main headline or observation is who's taking hold of the quarterback position? You got Russell Wilson, you got Justin Fields there. Who's going to step up and win that job? Well, we're not going to know until, honestly, probably like week 1 of the regular season. I think we do know, and I think we assume, like Mike Tomlin has continuously said, that it's going to be Russell Wilson. And yeah, I'm just kind of going forward with that information that Russell Wilson is QB1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers unless something crazy happens or he ends up getting injured. One thing I want to make note of real quick is, I'm not worried about the quarterback position. I'm not really worried about anything in specific with the Steelers offense. What I'm very curious about is Arthur Smith, and what I'm very, very curious as well about is what Pittsburgh / if Pittsburgh ends up making a move in just a couple of days once the June 1st comes and goes, because June 1st is a very important date in the NFL world because the impact that cutting a player after that date changes as it relates to the salary cap. So that's why you're seeing some, there are headliners, there are like news videos out there where you're seeing like cut candidates or trade candidates post June 1st. And it's because, it's like an accountant I don't know how a great way to put it, but before June 1st, any remaining prorated money on a player's contract accelerates onto the cap in the year that they are cut or traded. But that changes after June 1st, right? So if a player is released or traded after June 1st, no further prorated money accelerates onto the cap. Instead, that money accelerates onto the following year's cap. So that's why you're seeing guys like Tyler Lockett, James Bradbury, Cortland Sutton, Darren Waller, you're just seeing a bunch of veteran type of players that are still really good that might just be cut loose because of money. So welcome back to the channel. We're going to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers offense in today's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content, along with many Steelers videos every single week. Thank you guys for watching. Try to get this video to 250 likes. That would mean the world to me. So yeah, some just players. I was reading an article on ProFootballNetwork.com. James Bradbury, you got Juju, Cortland Sutton, Darren Waller, Miles Sanders, Tyler Lockett, Marshawn Lattimore, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what we were talking about a few months ago. If you guys remember when talking about Tyler Lockett, like, don't be surprised if the Steelers are rumored, they're reportedly into like a potential, a couple months ago, it was Brandon Ayuk, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Cortland Sutton. After June 1st, would not shock me. In fact, I actually am kind of anticipating Pittsburgh to make some type of move at the wide receiver position, even if it's really small. I know they've made a bunch of small moves, Van Jefferson, Scotty Miller, Quez Watkins, but I'm still not fully loving the wide receiver room. However, that's what we're about to talk about in today's video. So I was just reading an article on stillcurtain.com, and they were going through like, 5 question marks to keep in mind as we go through OTAs, who takes a hold of the quarterback position, which wide receivers are going to step up. And one thing that really caught my eye was Arthur Smith's new system and how that's going to look and be incorporated this upcoming year with the 2 new quarterbacks. So this is a quote I absolutely love to hear, and it was from veteran left tackle Dan Moore, all right? You can feel that our offense, in our offensive meetings with Arthur, he wants us to be the most physical offense in the National Football League. It's a run-first offense. As an offensive line, we love it. No offensive line likes to step back and pass protect 45 times a game. Those guys on the other side of the ball get paid millions to sack the quarterback. We want to keep them away from doing what they want to do. We want to be aggressive and tackle teams on the ground. This is Pittsburgh's bread and butter, but the big difference this year is that you now have a competent QB, and I don't care if you think Russell Wilson's washed. I don't care if you think he's past his prime. Russell Wilson threw for 26 touchdowns last season. I hate ragging on Kenny Pickett. Guys, he has 24 career starts and 13 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. I agree that Matt Canada was not the right offensive coordinator for the job, but there's only so much you can do when your quarterback, like there was some type of deep ball, but not really. I remember watching, I think it was in preseason actually, where he threw a deep ball to Calvin Austin. There was no really deep play threat, and that's something completely different that you're going to get with Russell Wilson and or Justin Fields. But going back to the run game, this is something we've talked time and time again on this channel because I go back to Arthur Smith's final year as the OC with Tennessee, and they were putting up over 30 points per game. They were a top 5 offense. I think they were ranked 3rd or 4th in the National Football League, putting up over 30 points a game. And Ryan Tannehill threw for like only 240 passing yards a game, but he had like 33 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. I mean, the dude made a Pro Bowl, and they had Derrick Henry. But when we look at Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh's a really good rushing unit on paper. The Steelers rushed for 100 yards just twice in the first 7 games of last year's regular season. That was they were one of the worst rushing teams in the entire National Football League in the first half of the season. When Matt Canada was officially fired, they rose all the way to 13th in the league by the end of the season. They averaged 118.2 rushing yards per game. So Najee Harris, and Jaylen Warren, and by the way, Najee Harris forced to be reckoned with. He's got his diet right. He's looking good. He's looking explosive in these clips that we're seeing in OTAs. Seems like his demeanor has completely changed more to like, aggressive hunter mentality. I can't wait. I think Najee Harris is about to have a career season right here, entering his 4th year, but neither here nor there, or it is here, but it isn't there. Harrison Warren accounted for 2,359 rushing yards, or 43.4% of the offense's total yards last season. Najee rushed for over 1,000 yards. He added 170 receiving yards. Warren rushed for just under 800 rushing yards and had almost 400 receiving yards. And, Arthur Smith spent the past 3 seasons as Atlanta's head coach, and the Falcons were actually a top 10 running team in the past 2 years. They finished 3rd in 2022 and 9th this past season. Now, during his time in Tennessee as an offensive coordinator, they did really good with Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill in the pass or in the play action, right? The Tennessee Titans attempted 116 pass attempts off of play action, according to Pro Football Reference. Last season, the Steelers attempted just 66 passes off of play action. So that's what Russell Wilson is phenomenal at. You got 2 dual threat running backs. You got, I know Najee can still catch the ball, but he's, more of like a, grinder, get those 1st and 2nd down yardage, get you closer to the chains. But I'm just so excited about Arthur Smith. And I just feel like, the narrative across the league, there's such a bad stain in everybody's mouth about Arthur Smith. And it's like, dude, I'm telling you, man, if Desmond Ritter's your quarterback, if Taylor Heineke's your quarterback, if Marcus Mariota's your quarterback, it's the same thing with Kenny Pickett. Like, even if you have a good offensive line, even if you have a good run game and good offensive weapons, there's just only so much you can do with those types of quarterbacks, guys who just are a little bit more predictable, right? So I'm so excited. Once again, no disrespect to Kenny Pickett or Matt Canada, but Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, this Russian tandem, Arthur Smith, I'm just feeling a lot more confident about this offense this upcoming season. And I loved that quote from Dan Moore, because they have 2 of the best running back duos in the National Football League. So that's it for today. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button, hit that sub button. But let me know down below, where do you predict on paper the Steelers offense will rank in the National Football League this upcoming season? Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. We'll